When Nioh was announced back in 2015 at the Tokyo Game Show, to say I was excited would have been an understatement. A game set in feudal Japan that combines the combat and difficulty of Bloodborne with the loot of Diablo and then elements of Ninja Gaiden thrown in, I was honored that the guys at Team Ninja must have had a Bedotter subdivision to make games just for me. Oh wait, Team Ninja. The team whose glory years predate MySpace being an easy target to explain to someone how long it's been since you were relevant? For months, all we could do was wait. But then Team Ninja did something great. In April of 2016, they released an alpha to get early impressions from the future player base. Later came a timed beta. Then in January this year, we got a last chance beta. All along the way, they leveraged the suggestions of the community to improve the game. And you know what? In my one complete playthrough of the game, I didn't encounter a single crash, noticeable bug, or balance issue. I don't think I've been able to say that about any game released in the past few years. This is how you release a game. EA? Ubisoft? Yeah. So A+ launched, but what about the rest of the game? It's good. I like it. But if I had to expand on that though, I'd have to start with the gameplay, because this is something that is truly special. The combat is quick and punishing, but oh so satisfying when you get it down. And the difficulty never feels cheap or unfair. That's fine. If you've played a Souls game or Bloodborne, you should feel at least mostly at home. It does differ in a few ways that will take even veterans a bit to get used to. You'll notice your stamina, or ki, depletes very quickly when attacking. And to make matters worse, if you get hit when it empties... My god, why? To offset this, if you press R1 at the correct time, you can instantly regenerate a portion of what you used back. Eventually this becomes second nature, and you even unlock abilities in your skill trees to have the regeneration activate during other actions like dodging. Speaking of skill trees, there are skill trees. There's one for each weapon choice, one for ninjutsu, a more item-based skill tree, and another for magic that does basically what you think it does. These do a lot to make your character feel like your own, and give you options on how you want your weapons of choice to perform. Stances also change up the way each weapon plays. A mid stance is balanced, giving you options for both defense and offense. A low stance makes you dodge and attack much quicker, while sacrificing offense. While a high stance gives you a wide range of offensive moves, but is typically slower and leaves you much more open. Guardian Spirits are yet another mechanic that give your character various boosts, abilities, and allow you to activate Living Weapon, which gives you a short time of invincibility and unique attacks. All of these mechanics combine to make your character feel uniquely yours. You could be in a room full of people all using the same primary weapon, but each would likely have a very different playstyle. And I haven't even touched on the Diablo-esque loot. I never knew I wanted this in these games until I got it. There's not a lot to say about it, it's just the loot system made famous by the Diablo series done right. You do get a lot of loot, but luckily there are a lot of quality of life menu options for sorting, comparing, and breaking it down into scraps to use later that you never feel like you're getting buried in it. Now that I was feeling unstoppable in my epic loot, it was time for Nioh's bosses to humble me. Each boss is as unique and varied as the levels leading up to them. Some are fierce one-on-one battles against enemies about the same size as you, and others make you feel as though you're fighting the entire map itself. I'm ashamed to say how many times I got killed by the early vampire boss before I finally understood the importance of stances. I kept trying to use a mid stance, which you can definitely do, but I didn't have the timing down to dodge a paralysis attack that can't be blocked, only dodged. Once I switched to a low stance though, I began weaving through her attacks and counter-attacking in a way that made me feel like a total badass. Until she killed me again. But then I came back, armed with new knowledge, and beat her with plenty of health to spare. I love these moments in video games. I instantly began asking myself, I wonder what it'd be like to fight her with this weapon. Or what if I had magic, or a different guardian spirit? I realized before I even finished the game once, I was excited to play it again. The story doesn't offer much character development and isn't too deep, but it serves its purpose to keep the game flowing along. To fans of the Soulsborne series, there's a much more tangible plot to follow. It follows the first ever Western samurai, William Adams, as he travels war-torn Japan, slaying yokai, in a quest to retrieve his stolen guardian spirit, the Great Fairy from Legend of Zelda. I know that William Adams was a real person who had a hand in shaping the future of Japan in the 1500s. Beyond that, I'm not sure how much else of the story is true. I'm assuming all of it happened the way the game said it did. Nioh does so much right. At its worst, it's equal to the sum of its Souls, Gaiden, Diablo comparisons, but at its best, it's something new and even better. The problems I have with the game are just nitpicky. It does get off to a slow start, and the story isn't going to change your life or anything, but otherwise, Nioh has to be an early favorite for Game of the Year. It offers one of the best action RPG combat systems I've ever had the pleasure of playing, phenomenally balanced gameplay, and over 60 hours of content for a single playthrough. Don't sleep on this one. How did I forget about that? Bats are dicks.